So I'm going to review completing the square. This is day 12, the last part, hopefully, of your lesson for today. Okay, so remember, I wrote some little lines over here. You have to get rid of A, so if there was an A, you would divide the entire thing by A. And we're going to start off here with getting rid of C. So we're going to add 9 to both sides. And then what we're trying to do is find out what the perfect square trinomial would be. What do I need this C to be so that it's perfect? And to do that, you take half of B, so take half of 10 and you get 5 and then square it, which is 25. This is always going to be a plus sign here, regardless of what that is. This will always be a plus. And if I add 25 to this side, I have to add 25 to this side. Okay, so at this point, now I'm going to factor this side. Remember, this is always going to be nice and easy to factor because we created it. All right, we just took the square root of that, the square root of that. All right, now I'm going to solve it by using square roots. So I just square root both sides. Remember, when I square root a side, I get the positive and negative version of the square root, and I'm not finished because I need x by itself. So now I have to subtract 5 from both sides. And it doesn't really matter if you put a negative 5 in the front or if you tack it on. I've kind of seen it both ways. So negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 35. With that, I'm going to see, can I simplify radical 34? So if they want it in simplest radical form, then we would have to simplify that. I'm thinking of my perfect squares. 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16. None of these numbers go into 34. 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 6 is 36, and I cap out there. So that is in simplest radical form. Now, if I wanted it in decimal form, like the test that I'm making, I know I can't put radicals in my answers for some reason. The program won't let me. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn radical 34 into a decimal, which is 5.8. So at this point, I would split it, and I would say negative 5 plus 5.8, 3 over, that's it, sorry. And then negative 5 minus 5.8. So here I'm going to get negative 10.8 as an answer, and then 0.8. So those would be my two answers. Both of these are two answers. This is negative 5 plus radical 34, and this is negative 5 minus radical 34. So it's two different answers. And then in decimal form, it's 0.8 and negative 10.8. All right?